In this video, we'll cover Spring Boot and custom application properties. So you have a problem. You need for your app to be configurable, no hard coding of values, and you also need to be able to read app configuration from a properties file. So the solution is to make use of an app properties file. So by default, Spring Boot will actually read information from a standards properties file. And this file is located at source main resources application.properties. So that's the standard Spring Boot file name of where to look for application properties. And you can actually define any custom properties in this file. And your Spring Boot app can access these properties by simply using the @value annotation. And other than that, there's no additional coding or configuration required. Spring Boot will automatically load this application.properties file and make it available to you via the @value annotation. All right, so let's look at the development process. So the first thing we're going to do is define custom properties in our application.properties file, and then we'll actually inject those properties into our Spring Boot application using the @value annotation. Okay, so let's start with step one of defining custom application properties. We'll make use of that standard Spring Boot file name, application.properties, and we'll define our own custom properties. So for this example, I'll define a coach.name equals Mickey Mouse and team.name equals the Mouse Club. And again, remember, you can use any custom property names in this given file. And there's also no limit on the number of properties you can add. You can add as many properties here as you'd like. All right, so let's look at step two of injecting the properties into our Spring Boot application. And what we'll do is we'll make use of that REST controller from the previous videos. So we had our fun REST controller. And what we'll do is we'll actually inject the properties for coach name and also team name. So what I'll do here is I'll make use of that @value annotation, and I'll inject the property coach.name, and I'll assign it to this field we have here called string coach name. And remember, this is actually injected from the actual properties file, application.properties. It'll get that actual property name, take that value, and inject it here for this given field. And then I just repeat the process here for team name. So I use @value team name. And again, it'll actually pull the information from the properties file, team.name, give the value here, assign it to our field, team name. And that's basically it. So the nice thing to notice here is that there's no additional coding or configuration required. Spring Boot will automatically load that application.properties file, make it available to your application, and you can access those values by using the @value annotation. So I like this. It makes it really, really easy to make use of custom application properties in your application. Okay, so in the next section, we'll actually dive into Eclipse and we'll actually try this out and we'll see this code running. All right, so I'll see you there.